Where do we focus? What guides us? What is our star and how do we follow? What is our gold? And what do we do with it? The Magi were guided by a star, and today we honor that journey to Jesus. We invite especially our younger friends to think about what following that star means. I also invite all the rest of us to consider the Magi's gifts. So instead of being kings, the Magi were really more like astronomers and scholars who studied the stars. In this story, they follow a celestial sign to find the newborn Jesus, symbolizing the recognition of Christ as king. They bring gifts, as we learned: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold represented Jesus' kingship, honor, and royalty. Frankincense is a resin used in temple worship and symbolized Jesus' divinity, holiness, and his role as high priest. Myrrh was an embalming spice symbolizing Jesus' humanity and suffering and foretelling his death and burial. Now, it's important to note that these were actually standard gifts to honor secular kings back then. These gifts might be brought to a secular king or a deity in the ancient world. So in some ways, this story isn't all that unusual. Moreover, in addition to their symbolic nature, there were practical uses for these gifts. The gold could have financed the Holy Family's journey to Egypt to escape King Herod. Myrrh had medicinal properties and could even alleviate arthritis and similar ailments. But today I will focus on the Magi offering gold. After all, we are most familiar with gold. We understand its value. Our kids understand its value. Maybe you trade it. Maybe you invest in it. Maybe you hide it in your floorboards in your house. Or maybe you have the K-pop Demon Hunter song Golden in your head still. We use gold a lot. We use it to symbolize, to decorate, and to celebrate. In the Olympics, which are coming up, it means being dominant, the best, rising above others because you have worked hard to be the one. We wear it. But what does it really mean? And what does it really mean to you? To you. So I have an invitation for you. If you are willing, if you were wearing gold or have gold coins in your pockets, maybe you could stand right now. Okay? Now, kids, any kids down here or anywhere, you see all these people standing up right now? They either have gold jewelry on or they have some gold in their pocket. And if you want to, and it could be your parents, why don't you go find someone and say, what does gold mean to you? Could you do that? Anybody want to do that? Anyone? Are you curious? Do you see somebody? You want to hear about gold instead of markers and paper? Anybody? Anybody? Maybe your parent? Give this a few more seconds. Let's see. Ask them, what does gold mean to you? No, I'm not going to have any takers on this. All right, well, the floor remains open, but I'll kick it out to you all. Who wants to share? What does gold mean to you? Love, okay. Anyone else? And you can have the mic. You can go on for a few minutes if you want. Because this is gold. Preciousness. All right, gold is preciousness.
Well, for me, this right here was a commitment. forever.
Ah, commitment forever, the wedding ring that some of you wear. Who else?
Like Joe, it symbolizes love for me. This wedding ring came from La Paz, Bolivia in 1969. She brought me home to get married.
So gold can represent love and commitment and a time and a place and a memory. All right, who else? Anyone else? Anyone have like other gold jewelry that's sentimental, that you just think the gold is a really important part of it? Jessica, you want the mic?
I wear not the grandma that lives with me, but my grandma that passed years ago, I wear her gold ring every day, and it reminds me of her.
Okay. So people who have passed on, reminders. All right, you all getting tired? I will let you sit. As long as you keep thinking about, what does gold really mean to you? Keep asking that question. So let me share another story with you. There is a story by the Brothers Grimm. Anybody know fairy tales down there? Called Hans in Luck. In the story, after working hard for 7 years, Hans wants to go back home. His master pays him with a lump of gold the size of his head. Can you imagine that? That much gold? So he takes the gold and he starts out on his journey, and he's jogging. He wants to get home, but he gets tired. And he sees a rider on horseback and takes his gold and exchanges his gold for the horse, thinking, hey, that'll help me out. But soon the horse bolts and Hans gets bucked off. He then meets a shepherd who convinces Hans to trade his horse for a cow, because he says, hey, this cow can provide milk, cheese, and butter, and we need food. That'll help you. So Hans takes the offer and continues his journey, only to find that the cow is dry and not producing milk. Disgruntled with the cow, Hans meets a butcher who gives him a pig for the cow. With his pig, he starts to jog again. That's an image I haven't really fully thought about much, but I guess it could happen. And then he meets a countryman who tells him, hey, the pig's owner is the squire, and you are in danger of being arrested for taking the squire's pig. So Hans takes the countryman's goose in exchange for the pig, happy that it will provide him a good roast. His next stop is in a village, and he meets a scissor grinder and shares his story. The scissor grinder offers him a grindstone for his goose, arguing that a grindstone will provide a source of income, a trade, something he can do. So Hans exchanges the goose for the grindstone and continues on his way. But the grindstone is heavy and he's tired, and he's short of money for food. So he stops for a drink on the banks of a river, and the grindstone falls into the deep water and is lost. He loses his source of income. He loses what he has traded for and worked for and tried to figure out what will help him most. But you know what he thinks? He is happy to be rid of that heavy grindstone and free of all his troubles. He walks into his mom's house and he tells her this lucky tale. He tells her his lucky tale. He tells her his lucky tale that started with gold, value, worth, and had all these twists and turns. Now, would many people in our society today say that was a lucky tale? That he doesn't have his gold and he doesn't have anything? I sort of doubt it. So maybe he thinks he's lucky, but maybe we wouldn't. I share this story, and I share it on this day, because Hans's story is countercultural. It's different, it's surprising, it's even shocking maybe. Sort of like the story of Jesus' birth and all the things that lead up to that, all the people that are involved, all the knowing and the unknowing. It's sort of shocking and different and puts us off kilter like all the stories we read after that about Jesus. It's not exactly what that world expected in a king. Not exactly what they're used to. Jesus and Hans can easily be thought of as foolish or naive if you don't really give it some thought, if you don't really pay attention to the story. So what would you have done in Hans's shoes? What would you have done? I've actually been wondering, what did the Holy Family do with the gold? Anybody else ever wondered that? All right. Anybody spent more than a few minutes wondering about it and like pursued it and thought about it? Mary and Joseph, they had been transformed by visitations by angels before his birth. You know, we talked about those in Advent. We lifted up those and honored those. They understood God in a lot of things much differently. I'm not saying it's easy, but they had some insights that most people didn't have. After spiritual revelations and this miracle birth, what did they think about gold? Did they think gold was useless for the enormity of their task and how they understood the world and how God was breaking through? Or did they see it as helpful and practical for their journey? The star leading the Magi. We see our stars up here all season. We gift them to our kids. The star leading the Magi, and then an offering of gold. What did it all mean to the characters in this amazing story? What does star, gold, and more mean to you? What are we called to do with the guidance and the gifts that we receive? And how are we to offer? How are we to respond? How are we to offer in response? May those bright, shiny questions guide you into this new year. May they help you live out your own lucky tales. Your own lucky tales that may confuse the world and help you follow the most valuable gift faithfully. Amen.